and welcome to another episode of Wednesdays with W. This is episode number 40, and the guest on this show is one who's shown a lot of grit, courage, and determination in his outings with Team India, and of course, unfortunately, is recovering from a major injury. But I'm sure he'll be back shortly in the first class circuit, and he'll pile on runs to ensure that he makes a comeback into the Indian team as well. The guest I'm talking about is none other than Hanuma Vihari, and who will forget the heroics on the famous Australian tour that we all witnessed from him. It's my pleasure to present to you Hanuma Vihari. Hanuma, good morning, all well?
Good morning, sir. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Mothers are always great influences in everybody's life, but in your case, she must have been extra special. She must have been a great inspiration to you.
Yeah, she's done a lot of sacrifice. From the childhood, I've seen her sacrificing a lot for us, for me and my sister, especially for me because I used to play sports, and my sister she was into education. For me, she used to come for every game, and she used to be there as a support, especially when I started playing cricket. And when I lost my father, also when I was 12, it was double hard for her to manage household things and also managing my uh, cricket. So she's been extra supportive to me, and she's the reason why I've come so far in cricketing terms. Where I've reached in cricket. I'll give all the credit to her, and she sacrificed a lot early on in my cricketing journey, and that's the reason why I've been successful and I've played for India.
Yeah, you've been a great son. You made her proud. Now, going back to that tragedy that you endured at the age of 12, it must have been cruel emotionally then. But as you went along in life, as you've grown up, what is the hangover that it has left in your life?
Then I didn't get to terms with what I've lost in life. So honestly, if I after when I was 12, I knew I lost my father, but it didn't strike me then. But when I started growing up and when I saw responsibilities and when I had big milestones in life, then I realized, if he was there, he would have been even more happier sharing my happiness with him, my success with him. That's when I realized, I've lost a big part of my life then at the age of 12. And for my mother, especially, to go through all those difficult part of life and then also to be supportive to her children was even more tougher. So I realize now how tough it must have been for her to raise us after losing my father at the age of 12. But it taught us responsibilities. So if you look at the other side, for me and my sister, it taught us how to be responsible at very early part of our life, and it got the best out of us, sir. There's no positive for losing a father, but if I have to look at another side, I feel I've grown up to be responsible for me, myself, and for my family.
To get a better understanding of what your mother did, what all she went through, obviously it must have been shattering for her, emotional in every which way. Financially, what was her strife like? What was the difficulty she had to endure to make you both did well in life?
Actually, my father was in Singareni, so from the government, after his demise, we got a lump sum amount of 20 lakh rupees. Then my mother, what she did was she bought a land, and she prepared a wicket for me and bought a bowling machine. So she spent whole amount of what she got, but she invested in my cricket. So that's how she treated. She thought I was always meant to be playing for India. Then afterwards, whatever pension he got around 10,000 rupees. We got 10,000 rupees at that time as his pension. Then she used to spend on cricket most of the times because I was on scholarship when I was studying, and my sister also was studying. So after 25 days in a month, we used to struggle for money. We used to struggle a little bit. It went on for 4 5 years until I represented playing for Ranji Trophy. Then I got some amount. Then we were in a better state then, but for the first 4 5 years, we struggled financially to get past that month and go to the next month until we got the pension for the next month. It was a struggle, sir, but I thought it was all worth it. The way she handled herself, she never let us know that we were struggling financially. She always got us what we wanted, especially for me, for my cricketing gears and everything. For the first 4 5 years until I got my sponsor, she was always there to support.
As a dutiful son that you are, there must have been times when all of you were finding the pressures of handling too many things, having to cope up with a lot of things, making ends meet. Did it occur to you at any time? It's not worth it. Let me get some job and earn some money.
Uh, Honestly, no, sir. Because, like I said, my mother never let me feel that we were struggling a little bit, or she was always supportive. She did some businesses as well. Uh, Whether it was she had a dairy farm. After I played for under 19 India, whatever amount I got, she had a dairy farm. She started with five buffaloes, and she went on till 70, 75 on her own. She worked a lot. She likes to be an entrepreneur always. So she started few businesses on her own. Even now, she does trading and stuff. So she always likes to be keep herself busy. So I always look up to her as a motivation and inspiration. Whatever tough situations come, you'll always find a way. Is what I feel. And cricket was always my passion. That's the only thing I wanted to do, and I know to do better than studying or whatever other profession. So I always thought I'll stick to cricket and pursue cricket and try to get the best out of myself in playing cricket.
For all those of you who thought where he gets the talent from, now you know where he has got the talent from. Obviously, from his mother. She's
Yeah.
handled a lot of things and she's accomplished a lot of things in all the things she's undertaken. Now, your junior level cricket, was it a smooth ride or was it tough? You had to grind it out.
I had to grind it out, sir, because after under 19 India, I had a bad World Cup. Like others, where they come up from under 19 India and they get the limelight. I didn't get that limelight because I didn't have a good World Cup. Then I had to come back. I had to grind a lot in Ranji Trophy as well. But before that, also, when I started playing under 19 cricket, I got into Ranji Trophy quite early. When I was 16, 17, I got into Ranji Trophy cricket. Everything was going well, but after a couple of seasons, I got dropped. Then under 19 India was a setback as well. Then I had to come back, play age group cricket, then get into Ranji Trophy again. And then after that, once I started playing well at Ranji Trophy, then I had a consistent run. I knew if I had to play from Hyderabad or Andhra later on, then I had to get a lot of runs to be in the limelight or get that recognition to be playing for India. So I had to make a lot of runs. I had to grind for 7 years to make that India debut. So I know that hard work of how many runs you have to keep piling on year after year. Even 1 year, also you'll go back, five to six spots behind than the others. So I had to pile on runs every year to be in that spot for playing for India.
Apart from all the individual pressures that you're subjected to, cricket in Hyderabad is a difficult proposition. How frustrating was it at times?
When I was playing then for Hyderabad, it was not so bad, sir. If you ask me honestly, then it was okay than what it is compared to now. But the winning culture was not there even then. That's why I had to make a shift to playing for Andhra. I thought I made that right call then when I went after 6 years of playing for Hyderabad. I thought I was not going anywhere because team was not winning. I was scoring runs, but I was not benefiting, or team is not benefiting out of it. So I thought making a shift would be better for me and my career. So I thought moving out of Hyderabad, although Hyderabad had a it had a big history. A lot of cricketers came out of legends came out of Hyderabad, but I thought it was in a bad state when I came out. But it got worse to what it is right now.
Make no mistake about it, I have a lot of admiration for Hyderabad cricket and
Yeah.
its history and for the talent that it has produced. That's why it's very disappointing for me as an outsider seeing how things are now. Now, talking about some of the idiosyncrasies of Hyderabad cricket, there was a game that a keeper was dropped to accommodate somebody, and you had to keep, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you did
Yeah.
fairly well after keeping for a long time in that game.
Yeah.
Just talk us through that game. You're not getting
so
away like
incident. So incident.
only
It
the
was the
cricket part of
last.
it. Only the cricket part of it. I don't want anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. So incidentally, it was the last game of the season, and I was made the captain also that game. So there was a lot of grass. Coach wanted to play four fast bowlers, and we had an experienced spinner in Oja. We couldn't drop him. So we had to accommodate four fast bowlers and a spinner. And only weak link in our team we thought at that time was the keeper. So I already kept in T20 games before. So coach asked me, why don't you keep? It was my first game as captain. So coach is asking me to keep. I said, I'll do it for the team because I was also the captain. I have to lead by example. I thought, okay, why not? I'll just keep. I won the toss. I choose to bowl. The grass was there, but you know how Gymkhana is. You look at the grass, you attempt to bowl first, but it was always flat. So they scored 500 plus. I had to keep for 2 days. Then I asked the coach, Azim sir was the coach then. I asked him, sir, I'll go one order down. He said, no way, you're going at number three. I kept for 2 days, then I had to bat number three. I got runs. I got 264. Instantly, we won that match. But after that match, I had to sleep for 3 days, sir. I was in bed rest for 3 days. I couldn't get up. Keeping for the first time 2 days, 180 overs, then to bat for a long time. Then I realized how tough keeping was.
I can imagine what it would have been if you're not used to it. Now, you kept wickets, you obviously batted, you also bowled off spin. Is there anything that you've not done on a cricket field? Maybe umpiring?
Yeah, well, I've done it. I've also bowled medium pace, if you know. But I've done it all in Ranji Trophy level. I've batted open. I've batted left-handed also last season. I had to bat left-handed, so I've batted right hand, left hand. Ranji Trophy, as you know, it's a tough game, but also an enjoyable. I always enjoy playing Ranji Trophy for my side, whether it's Andhra or whether I played for Hyderabad, because you want to win games for your state, and whatever it does, whether it's keeping, whether it's fast bowling, spin, or batting right-handed, left-handed, you want to contribute and make sure. As a senior pro now, I want to make sure that I have to give it all to make sure that the team wins.
The much worked for, much awaited moment came at the Oval.
Yeah.
And you had a good game there as well.
Yeah.
So, did you expect to succeed as an off spinner in international cricket?
Not really. So, if you ask me, I had a good first innings with the bat. I got a 50 odd then, but with the ball, we only had Jadeja at that time. We played with four bowlers. We didn't have a second spinner. So after a point, second innings where fast bowlers were tired, Virat asked me to bowl. I think that's the reason why I made my debut as well, because I could chip in with some off spin that came in handy. So I bowled, but I got 3 wickets. And the first wicket was obviously Alistair Cook in his last game. So he wouldn't want to remember that, but I would remember it for the rest of my life because it was his last inning in Test cricket. I got him out. So it was a memorable moment. Obviously, making your debut for India, especially at the Oval, it was a dream come true for me and for my family as well. The history of my mother sacrificing everything for me to make that dream come true. It was a special moment for me, uh, and doing well in that Test match was a cherry on top, I think.
Now, talking about Oval, India is going to play a big game. What do you think of India's prospects in the WTC final?
I think it's going to be tough, sir. I'm not saying it's going to be easy because we are playing a tough opponent in Australia. They've had more time to prepare than us because we've been coming out of IPL, different format. It's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging. But as you know, the history of playing against Australia in the recent past have been good. We've beaten them twice at home and once in India recently as well. But it's going to be tough. But we've got the tools. We got the players to be successful. I know they'll give it all to make sure that we win it this time. Last time we came close, but we couldn't win it. But I feel Oval is a place where it will suit India. Out of all the venues in England, I think Oval is the best place for us. If you ask me, best bet to beat Australia is Oval.
Talking of Australia, take us back to that Sydney game. That is where you endured a lot of pain. It was worth in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all worth it. I can recall it is very fresh in my memory, and it will always be because we were in the chase for a long time when Rishabh played that blinder of an inning. I thought 150 runs were needed when I went into bat. Pujara and me, then Pujara got out when I went in, and then Ashwin came in because Jadeja also had a fractured finger. Ashwin had a bad back. Then I pulled my hamstring. Then we knew that we couldn't go for the chase because we couldn't run because Jadeja and then rest was all bowlers. So I told Ashwin I couldn't run. Then Ashwin told I'll bat one end and he would bat other end. And I told him, see, I'll face the fast bowlers. It's easier for me because I couldn't stretch against the spinner. I said I'll face the fast bowlers, and it was easier for him to face land. And Ashwin plays spinners beautifully. So we complemented that way, and they helped us as well because they didn't change ends. They didn't use different strategies. They thought it was walk in the park, because it was a matter of time. Playing 45 overs, they thought it was a matter of time where one wicket falls and Jadeja had an injured finger, and then rest of them were the bowlers. So they took it for granted, and we just grinded it out. After tea, especially, I took an injection, and Ashwin also. Uh, he had a very bad back. He couldn't bend a
Yeah,
bit. So
Ashwin is a chirpy character. Did that
yeah,
back play make him talk less, or did it make him talk more?
I think it it made him talk more. So yeah, he was the you know, he was more active in our partnership. I was the quieter one. He was more active, and especially at the end, he had a chirp with Tim Payne as well. He was always that kind of a character. You know him well. Uh, but it was a nice partnership. It was we complemented each other well. We had that understanding of what we wanted to do in that situation.
Yeah, on that note, we'll give Hanuma a bit of a break. Don't go away, stay with us. There's a lot more coming your way, a lot of interesting stuff, I assure you.